Langdon Winner, in his article, argued that there are two ways of being political. First are instances in which the invention, design, or arrangement of a specific technical device or system becomes a way of settling an issue in the affairs of a particular community. And second are cases of what can be called inherently political technologies, which is man-made systems that appear to require or to be strongly compatible with particular kind of political relationship. In the first place, the technologies are simply used in such a way that they have a political result. In general, there is nothing about this technology that would imply they are political in every circumstance in which they appear. In second case, the technologies are always political, or at least normally associated with specific political contents. Let's see the first example. This is from Langdon Winner, right? So there is a place in the United States on the eastern coast called Long Island. And Langdon Winner tells us that on a particular highway or parkway, as it is called, one will find very low overpasses with bridges that go over the highway. These overpasses are about 9 feet in height, or just under 3 meters. There are about 200 of these low bridges, which are so low that buses are unable to pass underneath them. This is the look at that Long Island Expressway. And then the question is, why would anyone design a bridge that is so low? Well, we might not think much about it, except that tall vehicles are unable to use the highway. But if we look into the history of these low bridges, we find that that was exactly what the designer intended. The master builder of the roads and bridges in Long Island is Robert Moses. That's him on the left side, who was powerful from the 1970s to 1970s. Meditate way. Why do this? It appears that he was trying to systematically exclude a certain group of people, namely those who had to ride the bus. At this time the roads were being built, the buses carried primarily poor people, those who could not afford automobiles. It seems that he discriminated against buses, right? So it was not so much about his being racist to certain people. But then again, here, most of these poor people who rode buses were black. So by designing such low bridges, Robert Moses systematically exclude black people from using the park and beaches available to the middle and upper class persons who own cars. There is nothing about bridges that makes them automatically political, but within certain contexts and used in certain way, these bridges embodied political characteristics. To use them required that you be a part of certain group in society, a car owner. And while the bridge designer is long since dead, his bridges, his political vision, have remained embodied within the bridges. And here is another example. Much of modern day Paris was designed by Baron Haussmann under Louis Napoleon. So he created very wide streets, which today we think are great because you could put a lot of cars on them and they look beautiful. But they were designed long before there were cars. Isn't it weird, right? Why build such wide streets? They were actually designed that way so as to prevent the city inhabitants from taking control of the city. So in 1848, a wave of revolution spread across Europe, and in Paris, people took control briefly by blockading the narrow Parisian streets. It was difficult for soldiers to move through the city. You might think about how difficult it is for police in Hong Kong to respond to problems in crowded areas where the streets or hallways are very small, right? It makes the police very nervous because it gives a tactical advantage to criminals. With the wide streets, the government would be better able to control the resident. So there's two examples give you the point that sometimes when we look at technological artifacts in the world, we might not understand the circumstances behind their design. Technologies might very well be political, but we just assume that technologies are performing their stated function. The highways in Long Island transport cars, the wide streets in Paris are beautiful modes of transportation. In fact, these technologies have a political context built into them. But how about this artifact? Can it be political? What it is just a bench, an innocent bench, right? Yes, it can be political if, look at that. It's different, started to be different. How about this? I'll just show you here, right? The center armrest. When you put the center armrest on the chair become a different artifact. So this is the ad of Belson Outdoor, recycled plastic Georgetown bench. So it says that it is redesigned to face contemporary urban realities. This bench comes standard with a center arm to discourage overnight stays in its comfortable embrace. Sounds beautiful, but in a sense, basically, if I put it in a very rough, low people words, hey, this chair is designed to stay away, for homeless people to stay away from the bench, right? Because if there is no center arm, it's so easy to lay down on the bench. Look at this. All right, of course you could lie down, but it's kind of hurting, right? It's only some people who are crazy might try to sleep on the bench with center arms. And here is in Washington D.C. because even with such arm, the homeless still sleep on the bench, and the cops just took the bench away so nobody could sleep on there. So see, once you put just center arm on the bench, it has become political because you exclude some people from using it, and it gives you more power to control who could sit down on the bench. From the three cases, what have we learned? We learned that technology reflects a particular political situation or political design. And the change in power relationship or access or membership was or is intended. How about the unintended one? It is possible. Yes, it is possible.